I feel like in the current climate, everybody needs someone to say, hey, I'm there for you. And that's something that I tell my friends. Let's talk among each other because we disconnected ourselves with COVID. We were in little islands. So now I'm like, let's hold on tight and go through this journey and see where it's going to lead us. But I know it's going to make us stronger at the end.
Hello, and welcome to Power Beyond Pride, a weekly queer change-making podcast bringing you the voices and ideas from across our fierce and fabulous spectrum to transform our world. I'm Daniel W.K. Lee, poet, author, and iconoclast for iconoclasm's sake.
And I am Mattie Bynum, your other co-host, the hostess with the mostest, actress, comedian, dancer, singer, jack of all trades. And today we are talking with the amazing William Torres Fuentes, a social worker, an organizer, a gay Latino living with HIV who believes that the lack of understanding around HIV and AIDS, paired with North Carolina's lack of laws, which they have, explicitly protecting LGBTQ plus people from discrimination, makes it a challenging day every day to get that medical care and social support one needs and deserves. He has been advocating for the community through various roles. Well, William, hello, and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. We're very, very excited to have you. Before we kind of get into your work, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your story?
So, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So I'm from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, specifically from Vega Baja, which is the Bad Bunny where he was born. So I always reference that now. So he made Vega Baja famous. We have beautiful beaches over there. So everybody that wants to go, please go to Puerto Rico. I'm the oldest of five, so everybody looks up to me. So that's really neat. I'm a dog dad of two. Onyx and my baby Mattie, like I call him, is a beagle, rescue beagle. He's the most fun, loving dog that I have. And yeah, I've been doing social work for 7 years now. I've been in North Carolina for 11. So I've been in the South for 11 years here. So from the Caribbean to the South, North Carolina. So it's been a journey. But I truly believe that this change has made me grow so much through these years, because when you live in Puerto Rico, sometimes you're like in a bubble and you don't get to experience certain things. And when I moved here, it was like, oh, really? This is really happening. So for the first time, I was able to experience racism in a different way, because in Puerto Rico, like all my brothers and sisters, we are like a rainbow of colors. We're like darker. We have like blonde. Well, although these are made up here, but we are different colors and we love diversity. My grandma, it's Black. So that is what I always look up to. We're like a melting pot. And when I came down here to North Carolina, people were asking me, really, do you speak, for example, Mexican? And I'm like, no, this is so disrespectful. I speak Spanish, or certain things like that. Also, being a gay man in North Carolina also is like, I step lower because you have all this layers. Then you're like, okay, now all these things that keep adding to you, gay, Latino, HIV positive, all those things that I'm like, okay, there's another checkbox, So since I got here, I've been trying to embrace who I am at another level. Okay, I'm here. Let's make noise and let myself approachable and try to teach others why I'm here. And so that's basically, my background.
I just want to pull in a little thread. I'm kind of more adjacency. What might have been some of like the culture shocks that you experienced when you came from Puerto Rico here, especially when you're more of an adult? Like, what were you like, what?
So North Carolina has very specific language, for example, and there's a flavor. I love North Carolina. It's a very beautiful state. The people are very loving, but at the same time, the religious is very predominant. And everywhere you look, I'd say this is like a chapel or church, or it's like they're everywhere. And I, although I consider myself a religious person, very spiritual, I'm not any particular denomination. So that was kind of everywhere I look, I was like, okay, this is church. There's a Baptist church. There's this stuff church, and everybody has their own way of seeing things and finger pointing. Okay, this is how you should do it. And I'm about love, and that's the thing that I'm. If you give love, that's what we all be receiving love and put love into the universe, into the world, and not just hate. But I saw more hate in church than love. And that's the thing that it scares me till this day. It really pulls me back to my shell. And sometimes I'm like, should I be myself? Because it's hard sometimes trying to access other people and find a community when other people are like, I love you, but I don't love this. So it's always that kind of thing that I'm like, no, I love people regardless of who they are, who they love, what they wear, what they think. But I don't put like that little quotation, I love you because this. And that's the thing that really kind of got me thrown off. Like that, it took me many years to find myself here in North Carolina as a gay person. It was like, oh, this is happening. So now I feel very comfortable in my own skin. And I came here when I was 34. So being there in my 30s, trying to figure it out myself, redefining myself at 30. And I think now I'm in my 40s. So every decade is something different. So I'm turning into 50 in a few years. So I'm like, okay, there's another level of let's see what's going to happen in my fifth decade.
So I can definitely agree with William. I live in North Carolina, born and raised. So yeah, the language here is, I'm not going to say horrible, but it is a whole different type of language. Yes. So I would say on behalf of most of North Carolina, I do apologize if you've had any negative experiences, because I'm not going to take on the whole state because I'm not purple. I'm more me. Let's just leave it like that. But yes, and I do agree. Like growing up in North Carolina and also growing up religious and church, I definitely can agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I love you with is always there. That ... It's never just I love you, I accept you for who you are. So I do apologize about that. And I do also sympathize and empathize with that. But I do know majority of our conversation today is going to be around the many facets of social work advocacy and HIV, STDs, and Hep C programs. But since we started out with your journey in North Carolina, and talking about how you have assimilated here in North Carolina, how do you feel with the current political climates and everything that's going on? How do you feel that being out gay Latino has influenced your work in North Carolina to be the social worker and the advocate that you are?
So it's been great. I think that having this experience, I've been more people moving from other places to North Carolina. So have given me the opportunity to learn from them and be able to help them in different ways that I would never been able to do if I was in Puerto Rico. I'm learning from the cultures, from their struggles, because there's a lot of struggles from many, many places that sometimes we don't realize. Like people coming from Central America, South America, they have a different story. And it's very hard for them, their journey coming here, trying to access services for any condition, especially for HIV. I've heard so many stories about not having medications for years or not having been able to see a doctor. So that really, for me, that's unacceptable in this century. I think HIV access for medication should be for everybody, regardless of where they are. And that's something that I keep working when they come here. I'm like, okay, let me take care of you. Let me show you compassion love, because that's the thing. Some people, they don't even have that compassion, a family member that can be compassionate to them, or they can give them a hug. I'm a hugger. So when I see someone, when I first see them, when I meet them, I'm like, may I give you a hug?
When you talk about the compassion is a big part of it. Like, I think that make people miss that. I remember growing up, there was this man that we grew up knowing in our community, and we did not know until after he passed that he was gay or that he had HIV or anything. I think he actually ended up progressing into AIDS. But I remember as a 13-year-old at that time, I remember asking my aunt who told us, and I was just like, well, who was there to hold his hand? Like, who was there with him when he went through what he went through? Like, how did he transition? And she was just like, well, baby, I don't know. And I felt the same way. I'm like, that's not acceptable. No one should ever deserve to go through that alone.
Yes. And there's still people. I work with people that they don't have any family members. I work with a lot of people that they're on shelter and house. So they put me as their emergency contact. So, and coming from a big family, for me, that's very, I can unfathom. That was like, this is my first real, okay, there's people that they're really by themselves out there. They don't have anybody. So how can I change that narrative to make them feel there's someone that really care for them, and not just as a social worker, but also as a human being. And that's my social work part that I'm always proud of. I didn't study social work. I have a master's in counseling and rehab counseling. So, and I've been fortunate to be working as a social worker for almost 7 years. So it's it brought a lot of different challenges, but also I have grown so much as a person. And social work is a very beautiful work, Lloyd. And I think that that's something that we should always embrace. Like teachers, we need more teachers, we need more social workers, we need more psychologists, people that can, because mental health is a huge thing right now. It's always been, but I feel like in the current climate, everybody needs someone to say, hey, I'm there for you, you know?
Yeah.
I need a person for myself. I have people to talk. I need you. And that's something that I tell my friends. Let's talk among each other, because we disconnected ourselves with COVID, a lot of us. So we're
Mhm.
coming back. We're like, we were in little islands. So now I'm like, let's hold on tight and go through this journey and see where it's going to lead us. But I know it's going to make us stronger at the end.
Do you see since COVID, do you see more people who are displaced and estranged our community?
So
You find-
yes, COVID, COVID was, it hit hard everywhere. And in North Carolina, we saw a higher rate of people on house because they lost their jobs. Although there was freezes to not people be displaced, like landlords were unable to get you kicked out because there were laws and all that. There was also an increase of funding, but that funding went away. So most of the people that were relying on those fundings right now, we're struggling to find funding to house them or to provide any, for example, food, shelter, and all that comes with it. So yeah, I've seen an increase of, plus other people are moving from up north to the south to North Carolina. So we have seen an increase in unhoused people.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing up those factors, and are definitely things that we can continue to explore. But we're going to take a very short break. And please stay tuned to this fantastic episode of Power Beyond Pride, where we're sitting with William Torres Fuentes. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Power Beyond Pride, a queer change-making podcast, and I am Daniel W.K. Lee, here with my co-host, Mattie Bynum, talking with William Torres Fuentes. Continue with what we were discussing earlier about you as a social worker. I'm curious, what's one thing you wish more people understood about social work, and especially being a social worker specializing with the LGBTQIA plus community?
So for me, I do work with all kind of everybody that comes through our door, and I'm an HIV social worker. So basically, I specialize working with this amazing community of people living with HIV. So, but I do more. I have people from the LGBT community. Most of my clients they're all from the LGBT community. So it's been very sensitive. It's been very compassionate because I don't know. They come from different backgrounds, and their stories sometimes are very. It breaks your heart when you talk to them, and sometimes I see myself in them, so I have to step back and see how I can better assist them and better provide the services because I'm also living with HIV. So I've been through a lot of different situations that I'm like, let me go back into my I said my reporter here and just take what I've learned from that situation and say, okay, this is what how I saw this and how I work with it. I'm as a social worker, always giving them things that they can better their situation and they can grow from it. I'm always trying to make them more self-sufficient and be able to say, okay, this is something and empower them. This is my whole thing is empowerment. Let's empower you so you can ask the good question. What's a good question to ask to your provider? And because sometimes we, as people living with any different conditions, we fear asking our providers about certain things. We think the doctors, providers, they know everything. No, you need to empower yourself and say, hey, this medication is costing me this. So is there another one that I can take? Or sometimes we're like, just take this pill and forget about it. I'm like, no. And I was diagnosed in 2003 and HIV medication has changed so much. So from taking 5 pills a day back then, I'm now just taking one. So for me, that's a huge thing. And the side effects are so less. So before it was like, and prior, the other generation taking the first antiretrovirals, they were taking 40 pills, most of them. So that was a lot. I can't imagine going through that. So that's why I always look into the past and said, hey, I'm grateful that a lot of people before me when they fought for better healthcare, better medication, better studies, research. That's why I'm always an advocate for research. Like, hey, without research, there's no new medications. So there's no prep without research.
Yep.
So that's a lot of the things that I tell people now with prep is because they study it first was with HIV positive people because those medications were first um, given to us. And now they're able to see other things that say, okay, this is good for prevention as well. So that's the good thing about research and all that. So it's a good thing to be a social worker and be able to reach out to the LGBT community because not everybody has that compassion and that eye to see and say, hey, how can I help you? Okay. And that's something that I always look to.
As a social worker, how would you, so like for the people who are listening who want to get help or need assistance but don't know how to go about getting it, what would be the best steps you would tell them to do to start looking for medical, housing, or anything?
So the best way is to go into your local health departments because that's where it's the quickest to go and see what services they have there. So statewide, we have an umbrella here in North Carolina. So the each different areas have different services. So I always recommend call your health department because they can guide you and say, hey, we have these services. These are the providers we have. So that's my initial thought is just contact your health department, Google, do all this research. I'm always advocating, do research first and also be keep aware of where do you do your research, because not everything that you see online, it's true. So a lot of things, I have a lot of different people come up to me and say, "Hey, I just heard about taking this herb." And I'm like, be careful, because that could be an interaction with your medication. And since we are having more people coming down from different areas, different cultures treat themselves differently. So that's something that I'm like, okay, there's they have different traditions, different. So incorporating that with what we do here. So it's very important for them, because I want to acknowledge also where they come from and say, hey, okay, this is something that you want to do, but let's be safe about it.
Yeah.
And always talk to your provider to see if that is making it better or making it worse. So that's something that I always tell people.
Well, I was going to say, with everything going on with the cuts and the budget cuts and the funding, are there contingency plans that you know of, or do you know of anything in North Carolina that will still be able to assist people, to help people if a lot of funding does get cut for the hospitals and the research?
So there's a group of people and a group of organizations that are currently working very hard to keep those services alive. And statewide, we're all basically we're in a waiting game, because this administration keeps changing all the time. So
Mhm.
we know, and a lot of people ask me, hey, it's where I'm going to get my HIV medications, if my housing is going to be secure, what about my Medicaid, food stamp benefits, all that. So, because those things are very important for our community. And we don't know yet. There's a lot of cuts, basically. I know HOPWA, which is Housing Opportunity for People Living with HIV and AIDS, at least got a boost of funding for the next fiscal year, which is, I was worried about that,
Mhm.
because most of my clients, they rely on this services and this funding. We have funding that provides services with rent, with utilities, with mortgage. So that's a huge deal for people. That's a lifeline for a lot of people. Where to get funding to pay their next rent, which is in North Carolina, it's expensive. At least one bedroom can go for $1,400, and that's a lot of money.
And that depends on what city in North Carolina. 'Cause I know in Charlotte and Raleigh, one bedroom start at 19 and go up. So
Yes, and how can you afford that with minimum wage? So that's something that it's scary to most people. It's scary for me, because I sometimes I say, okay, if I lose my job, how can I be able to afford my house where I'm currently standing? And that's a reality for a lot of people. So trying to make sure that those fundings are kept. We are encouraging everybody to call their senators and make phone calls, send emails, because that's the pushback that we need to do. And as an advocate, I'm always calling and letting them know, hey, this bill, they should not vote for it, because it's going to take funding from my community, the people I serve. So, um, Medicaid is one of the things that we're watching, because we don't know how that's going to play out. We have the HIV medication program here in North Carolina, it provides certain medications to people that are either uninsured, underinsured. So that helps people getting their medication. So hopefully those fundings right now, I can say they're all safe, because we don't know what's going to happen. But at least for now, we have those fundings, and there's people pushing back to have those funding be alive. So
Speaking of pressures and crazy things from our administration, obviously we're in a very perilous situation when it comes to immigrants or undocumented people, or even actually citizens who are brown. So I'm kind of curious of what kinds of changes or adaptations or ways that you've had to operate in order to access or maybe work with populations that are undocumented, in terms of like what you're doing now.
So we provide services regardless of their immigration status. And that's something that I'm very proud of, that we're able to do that, because it's a life. That's You're dealing with someone that needs this service. So we don't reject anybody. So for me, that's the best thing right now. But also we're trying to get, with all the eyes raised everywhere, a lot of people are afraid to coming to buildings, to their appointments, showing up to places. They're like, okay, I've seen a lot of comments online. They were here, they were there. Don't go today, or so that really jeopardized their health. Their ability to access medication, to access services. So right now, we're everywhere that I know, we're trying to let them know, hey, we're here. Let me know how I can help you. I tell them, do you need me to call the pharmacy to ship your medications to your house? You don't have to go pick it up. So those little details, or don't come to the clinic. Well, come to how I can tell the provider to do a virtual meeting appointment. Those things can be tweaked, and that could be better for the clients. Say, okay, at least some appointments can be virtual, but others, they have to come to the clinic to get their labs drawn and all that. So we have to be creative as a community to meet the clients and the patients where they are. And not pressure I don't pressure anybody. I'm saying, if you don't feel safe, let me know.
Yeah.
And we can work around that. I'm not going to make you like, you have to come today. Because this is their reality. And we have to acknowledge their feelings. They're afraid, to be honest. And we have to be empathetic with those feelings and try to work around that, and I deliver food. I deliver different things to, if I can do whatever, it's easier to make their life. I'm like, let's do it. And I have an amazing group of people that work with me, and around the state, everybody's been very helpful. I think because the South, we do everything. Also, we love hard. We want people to be well and healthy. So we're like, let's do it. It's scary because I don't know where how the next funding is going to be, but that's why I'm always advocating. I was in the Hill last year. We have AIDS Watch. So we go and talk with our senators and try to advocate for services and for more funding. So last year we were advocating for more PrEP access, which is PrEP is for a medication you can take to avoid getting HIV or getting So that's something that we always do. We're doing that so we can make it better.
It sounds like you've been really great at being adaptive and flexible, which is so fantastic in terms of, I think people can also get bogged down by, oh, this is our policy, rather than like what you said, which is like being able to meet people where they are. Let's take a short break here. Stay with us because we'll be right back in a minute for a speed round of questions to get to know William Torres Fuentes better.
Welcome back to Power Beyond Pride. We are sitting here talking with the amazing, interesting Mr. William Torres Fuentes. I am your host, Mattie Bynum. I am co-hosted with Daniel W.K. Lee, the most intelligent, insightful, wittiest man that I know, and I love it. He's such a sweetheart. But something that we found out earlier, Daniel, that I don't think we really talked about in this episode is this is William's very first podcast. So as host, I would love to ask you, William, how's it going? Are you enjoying your first time?
It's great. I think that getting ready for it, I was like, oh my, I'm trying to look good or hear sounds good. And for me, it was kind of like interesting, but I'm a talker, so it's good. I feel like I belong here. So
You do.
yes.
Perfect.
Podcasting is one of those you got to be able to be a talker, because if you come onto a podcast and show and you don't talk, there will be this thing called dead air. And in radio, there's a thing with dead air. It's funny because on TV, you can be silent and expressionable with your face, but in podcasts, you can't really do that. So I think you're doing pretty good, though, so far. So, okay, so our next question that we have for you this afternoon, Mr. William, is looking ahead, what are some of the key shifts or evolutions that you anticipate in queer activism, particularly concerning the intersection of communities and services?
I my my perspective is that we're gonna get for me it's gonna get interesting in the sense that we need to unify ourselves, our goals. We have to target one thing at a time. I think a lot of the we're so I mean in so many ways scattered. We're trying to do so many things at the same time that the main focus I think in the future is just targeting one thing at a time so we can conquer more. And I think that's what our communities are doing. We're trying to better organize ourselves to say, hey, this is important, but let's go to this first because there's levels of things that we need to do. So that's organization. I think we're getting better at organizing ourselves, our community know what we really need. So we're getting that there. And I think we're getting more creative. Our voices are being heard more. I think this amazing community is growing and they're not afraid of saying who we are. So, and that's the beauty of it. I love where our communities is heading. We're more expressive, we're more loving, and I encourage everybody to be themselves. Doesn't matter. It's a beautiful thing be able to say, hey, I'm queer. Hey, I'm gay and say proud. And for me, it's that's something that when I grow up in Puerto Rico, I wasn't able to say it. It was really hard for me to say, hey, I'm a gay man. So it took me a while to be able to be myself. It took me years but now a lot of people are able to say, step out younger and said, hey, I'm queer. I'm a loving queer person. And that doesn't make me less. So for many years, I felt that I was in my shell. But now looking back, I'm like, I'm happy where our community are going. But this is not something that's everywhere. We need to keep fighting for those in places that they're being silenced. And so that's why our reality here is not the reality of people in other parts of the world. So we need to be mindful also for our brothers and sisters in other communities that they're fearing for their lives. They're running out, they're stepping out, they can't be themselves. So just we keep reminding ourselves that this fight is for everyone, not for just a few of us. So
I really love how you're just so led by your empathy and your compassion. So that's really amazing.
Very inclusive.
Yeah. And would love to kind of hear about then what's kind of in the future for you in this year or the next year in terms of your own journey, not just the work stuff, but like maybe some of the personal things that your personal growth.
for me, it's learning. I think that I just knew the next few years is going to be, I think, growing and in a different way. I think each year when I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser. I hope I'm getting wiser sometimes. I still make a lot of boo boos. I said, okay, but that's the human part of us. But my future, I want to be able to reach out more, do more advocacy, and try to step out of my shell. Sometimes I'm like, it's difficult sometimes be out there with the current climate, and sometimes I'm more aware of my surroundings where I do my advocacy because we have to be we have to take care of each other. And that's something that I tell people. If you're gonna be an advocate, you need to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And be safe. For me, that's the key word. Safety is the first thing you have to envision, because there's people of mental health. There's a lot of things out there that you need to take care of yourself. And we need to take care of each other. Like when a friend of mine told me I'm gonna do this, I'm like, okay, have an emergency plan, a contingency plan. So it's for me, it's just keep doing what I do. I think I keep loving my community, keep giving my love. A lot of self care. That's something that I always encourage because before I didn't do a lot of self care, but now I'm all about self care. You need to take care of yourself to be able to give to other people. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we are like in the go, go, go. We're doing all this. We never stop to just say, hey, I love nature. I love go hiking. I love playing with my dogs. I love gardening. So that's the thing that grounds me. It's just being one with nature. So that's what I'm envisioning myself. Just keep meeting interesting people and loving them where they are. So yeah.
Yeah, you said self care. Self care is the key because I think the older we get more involved in self care. But it's funny to me to watch the younger generation who is all about self care at 10 and 11. And I'm like, see, at 10 and 11, I wasn't thinking about none of that stuff. I just remember in my early 30s staying up like 3 days straight, partying, having a good time, and still working. And now, if I do 30 minutes straight, I'm good. I'm just ready to go lay down as I get older. But yeah, no, self care is definitely key in anything that you do, especially as an activist. You got to take time for yourself. Well, William, this is the time of the show that we like to get fun and get reckless and have a little bit of just oomph, as I like to say, a little high. This is our speed round. And so I will go ahead and tell you answer as quick as possible. Don't think about it. I don't know if you've ever played spades, but my uncle used to always say playing spades, if you think long, you think long. So just whatever pops in your head, okay?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
I got the first question. How comfortable are you with public displays of affection?
Not good yet.
Mm.
Uh-uh. Mm-mm. But why do you feel like you're not good?
So I have really bad experiences in my life, which I'm trying to get better. That's why I said mental health is very important. Growing up in Puerto Rico, I got a lot of people yelling at me like very nasty things. So when I'm with my group of friends, I'm very affectionate.
Mm.
But for example, if I'm dating someone holding their hand outside, sometimes for me, I feel very shy. So I'm trying to get better at that. But I think it's a lot of the trauma that I was inflicted in the past. So I'm working on that very hard. So
Okay, it's the process. It's the process. What's the biggest misconception people have about you?
that I'm always happy. There's so many layers of me. Sometimes I always try to put the best face, like a, I'm always happy, but that's not the case. But I'm a very emotional person. I I feel a lot, just so so, and a lot of people just see me as this random person or no. If you get to know me, I'm a very spiritual person, very loving, but some people think like I'm all over the place. So, but I'm not. I'm very centered.
Okay.
Excellent. So this next question, you feel free to pass because you did say that you're a bit shy, but I'm going to ask anyways. What's something sexual that you've always wanted to try, but have yet to?
I have done so many things.
Don't
Yes,
sound too shy now, do we? All
that's the
right.
thing that I do. I'm very creative in that area.
I love that word. Very creative. Yes.
Yes, yes. If I see it, I want to try it.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like I have tried much of the things that I'm a very sexual person and I love sex. So sex is part of who we are also. So I've done a lot of different things that make me feel good. Also, I love sex. That's something that some people are afraid of saying, but that's part of who I am. And I'm a sexual person. So I haven't done it with a robot yet, so probably that's something I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
so
goals.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love that you really thought about that question. So yes, robot, here we come. Okay, future. So, okay, are you a kisser or a hugger? Because a good hug can change a person's life. So,
And so I'm a kisser.
ooh.
So I love kissing. That's something that I have really good lips. So people tell me I'm a good kisser. So I have to embrace that. So yeah,
Relatable. Absolutely relatable. What's the last dream you can remember?
my last dream. Oh, that I can't talk about that one, but yeah.
It's a lot of questioning. Sexual kisses and hugs. Now dreams. All right.
My
Hey.
dreams are kind of weird lately. I don't know. There's a lot. I think I go to bed watching a lot of cartoons.
Mm.
So that's my self care. It's watching cartoons when I go to bed. So I think I had something to do with South Park.
Okay, now I'm scared to ask what that dream was about.
Yeah. So yeah, it has something to do with South Park, which is kind of funny. But I think I've been watching a lot of videos about the last episode that they just broadcast. So it was funny.
Which was about for Trump being gay, right? In that episode?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I do have a follow-up question though. Were you a cartoon or were you watching a cartoon?
I was watching the cartoon. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
No,
to like in a dream if you were actually
that would
animated.
be nice. See, that's something that they should put my face on the little body so I can talk like them. So that would be awesome if my brain can do that. So
Yeah. That'd be cool.
What is your favorite part of being Puerto Rican?
oh man, where I was born, Puerto Rico is beautiful. And yeah, it's just being born there. It's just a bonus. It's just amazing. The coming from that Puerto Rico is only 100 by 35 miles, but we have so much we're giving so much to the world, and our culture, our music, food, it's amazing. So I love being Puerto Rican. So
If you had a pet sloth, what would you name it?
Mimi,
Mimi? Okay,
yeah.
Mimi. I like that.
Is it because you love Mariah Carey so much?
Yes. Yeah, just her old version. Yes.
Yeah.
Not the old version. I mean, I think we all love the old version better.
Who is your first celebrity crush?
The Marlboro guy.
Oh,
You said the Marlboro guy?
yeah, like the cigarettes.
Okay.
I'd have to, because we've had different ones. I'm kind of curious which era would have been, like an 80s. Is that an 80s Marlboro?
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought him as a celebrity, but it's just the first time I saw that image.
Uh huh.
I knew
He was lying.
yes, I knew I was gay. I'm like, yep, that's what I because there was not a lot of technology back then, but there's cigarette cartons everywhere. So yeah, I saw that. I'm like, interesting. I wanna be a cowboy now. So
Well, at least it didn't encourage you to be a smoker. It encouraged you to do other things. But hey, we love it.
I wanted to ride a pony. Yep, let's do it.
Yes.
I would. Now you might be thinking of Genuine on that one, but what was the last thing that made you laugh?
Oh man, my nieces, they're always making so many. I love kids are so genuine, and sometimes they say so many things that I'm like, how did you come up with that? You know? So was one thing that my niece said that I was like, she's always making fun of me. So for some reason, But yeah, it was just something that it say something, and yeah, that makes me I was like, oh, that was funny. So
Well, we have one more of the speed run questions, and it is, who is your nemesis?
myself,
Ah, legit.
I'm my worst critic most of the time, but I'm learning. But it's just I'm still conscious a lot, so I'm trying to be better in that sense. That I know that I'm human, but sometimes I want to be superhuman, and that's not possible. There's nobody superhuman. So I'm learning to be who I am with all the flaws that I come with, and I'm growing with that. So I didn't that's why I say I'm myself, and I'm my worst self critic. And so yeah.
Absolutely legit. Absolutely legit. Well, one last question, I guess, after that, which is, where can people follow you or follow your work?
So right now in Insta, it's Boricua against stigma. This BORICUA underscore against underscore stigma. And that's one of the things that I'm growing in presence in the internet. I'm old school, so I'm trying to be more in. So it's taking me a while, but that's something that I'm more passionate and trying to reach more people, because this is the beauty of the internet. You can reach people everywhere. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us or taking time to have a conversation with us. We'd love to have you back. And we hope that you will say yes if you do.
yeah,
If we do, yes.
good. Yes, this was an amazing opportunity for me, and just you're a great host. I love interacting with Mattie and Daniel. So
Yeah.
yes, I feel like we're in the view, and I'm sitting down and just
So who am I, Whoopi? I mean, I am dyslexic, so I mean, but no.
yes.
Well, I'm glad you had fun. That's all that matters.
Thank you for having me. It was great to be here, and shine, be queer, love yourself, and just love others, which is gonna make us better and get us through this whatever is going on in the world. But we're gonna be here. So thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I am also your other co-host for the evening, Mattie Bynum. You can find me at Instagram at Mattie Simone 737, Facebook Mattie Bynum, and to echo it one more time, William, thank you for coming. It's been a joy, a privilege, an honor, and hopefully maybe I can see you in the real world, because I do live in North Carolina, and we can do fighting together as activists and working. My other go-to always to end the show is, we're coming up on an election year. This is a midterm year. People, we have to vote. We have to vote. We have these shows. We talk about change. We talk about change makers. We talk about activists. But if we really want to see change, we have the power. We are a country for the people, by the people. We have power. So please go out and vote. It's very important.
Amen. Amen. And I'm your co-host, Daniel W.K. Lee, poet, author, and iconoclast. You can follow me on Instagram at strongplum, and my website, danielwklee.com. Remember to subscribe and get your friends to subscribe to Power Beyond Pride on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our website at powerbeyondpride.com.
And Power Beyond Pride is a project of A Great Idea, a queer-owned design and content agency. Learn more about A Great Idea at agreatidea.com.
This episode was produced by Shane Lucas. Mattie Bynum is the project developer. Our editor is Jarrett Redding, with support by Ian Wilson.
And me and Daniel are both part of the wonderful co-hosts of this podcast here. We invite you to send in your questions and comments at powerbeyondpride.com.
Check out our new episodes each week. We look forward to queer change making with you next time. From all of us here at Power Beyond Pride,